Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of my new channel. My name is Alicia, and today I think that we need to talk about your nervous system. I'm choosing that as my first topic because it truly is the basis of how and what you're manifesting, whether it's wanted or unwanted. So, your nervous system will tell you everything. There's really only two states of being at its core, and that's either calm or nervous or anxious. Whatever word you want to, you can you can use either word, nervous or anxious for the other category. But all of the other feelings fall into one of those two categories. That's pretty easy to determine. Obviously, if your feelings have love and happiness behind them, they're going to fall into the calm category. And if you are angry or stressed, it's going to fall into the anxiety category. So that's the basis of everything. So throughout the day, you can periodically check in with yourself and just ask yourself, how are you feeling? Do you feel calm? Do you feel nervous or anxious? And that's going to be your most blatant indicator of what frequency your body is putting out into the world. And whatever your dominant frequency is, that's what's coming back. So if your nervous system is not regulated, that really needs to be step one. That's what has to be addressed first, above anything else. Because until your nervous system is regulated, you're not going to be able to make any of the changes that you want to see happen in your life, whether it be better relationships, better job, starting a business, more abundance, more money. You really need to do that inner work first and regulate your nervous system. It's essential. And once I figured this out, that's when things really started to shift and turn around for me. Um, I think that I was walking around in anxiety mode for many, many, many years. And that's when things felt like a struggle. It's when everything felt hard, everything was scary. Um, so, recognizing what your nervous system is trying to tell you is the most important thing. Check in with yourself, sit down for a few minutes in the morning and just take a few deep breaths. And I will tell you this, breath work definitely works. It really does. This is coming from someone who has suffered from panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and how scary that if you've never had one, they can be very, very scary. It literally feels like you're physically having a heart attack. Breath work really helps just ground you, and it lets you kind of do an emotional body scan of where you feel tension. Is your forehead tense? Is your neck tense? Your shoulders, your back, your hip area, wherever that is, just sit and take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, nice and slow, and it does actually calm your brain down and let you know where you're carrying tension. And wherever that is, just sit with it for a minute, recognize it. Don't be angry at it, don't dwell over it, don't beat yourself up over it, but just be with it and recognize it, and talk to yourself. Talk to yourself like you would talk to somebody that you love, somebody that you care about, your best friend, your child, whoever you have to reference. Just have that conversation with yourself to kind of ground you, bring you down, let you know what, everything is okay. everything is going to be okay. When you're in a calm state, you're sending out a vibration of trust to the universe. Trust that your needs are going to be met. Trust that everything is going to be okay, that your bills are going to get paid. And when you put yourself in that state of calm, your world is just a mirror of what you believe about it. So if you're constantly putting out the vibration of anxiety, that's what's going to be mirrored back to you. That's just it's just universal law. It's not judgmental, and it doesn't care what your vibration is. It's just giving you what you're giving it. And once you can really grasp that concept, it starts to get a little bit easier. Um, just real quick, if you wouldn't mind and hit the like button, I would appreciate it. It's a free and easy way to support my brand new growing channel. So I would really appreciate it. And subscribe if you like my content, please. Okay, on to it. So if you are feeling anxious most of the time, you need to examine your beliefs. Because if you have very limiting beliefs, and most of us do until we get to the point in our life where we want to face that and recognize that and really dive deep and examine what they are. If you have a lot of limiting beliefs about your life, then you need to just make a new decision to replace that belief with a new one. And it's easier than it's easier. It sounds easy, but it's easier in the sense that a belief is just a thought that you keep repeating over and over in your mental story until you actually believe it. So, for example, if you ask yourself this question, I'm just going to use money as an example. Fill in the blank. When I was growing up or when I was a kid, money was blank. Now, if it was plentiful and and prosperous, then I'm really happy for you that you don't need to clear that limiting belief. But for many people, it's not. Many people, it's going to involve some sort of scarcity word, whether it's it was hard to come by, it was hard to make. Um, Maybe you heard, well, money is the root of all evil. That's another big common one. Or just constantly being told within your family that you can't afford certain things, and that um, just very limiting language. So when you grow up with that, it's very difficult to just automatically believe on your own that it's just not true. Um, it needs to be examined and worked through and put behind you. So, you know, if you want more prosperity in your life, but you walk around, you know, talking about how you can't afford things and it's too expensive, and pay attention to how you're talking to yourself, because you're also putting everything that you say out there. If you want more abundance in your life, don't walk around talking about how broke you are. Um, yeah. So I mean, it sounds simple, but it's a truth that many people need to hear, because until I really got deep into this work, I used to do all the same things. I used to sit there and budget down to the last dollar, worry about whether or not my rent was going to be paid, worrying about, how expensive groceries are going to be. I used to do all the same things. And you know what? I've always paid my rent. I've always been able to buy food, and my bills have always gotten paid. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how stressed out I was over it. At the end of the day, I was always okay. And more than likely, you are too. Even if you're staying on a friend's couch right now, you're still okay. You're alive and you can turn it around and you will turn it around. But your state of mind, thus your nervous system, is at the core of everything else. Constantly check in with yourself throughout the day. How are you feeling? Because however it is you're feeling is what you're manifesting for your future tomorrows, the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. And I also want to point out, if you are hanging out with people that are just wrecking your nervous system, you need to stop. You need to put yourself first and your mental health first. And if you're hanging out with people that you know are wrecking your nervous system, whether it be because they're mean or nasty or because they have bad habits that you seem to just fall into when you're hanging out with, like whatever the case may be, examine that as well, because sometimes you have to do a little bit of cleansing in your relationships if you're not around emotionally healthy people for you. um, Declutter your space with things that are stressful. If you have just a bunch of stuff like laying around that you don't use, you don't even look at, you don't care about, cleansing your space can really, really help your nervous system too. Your closet. If you haven't worn something in a year, donate it. Get rid of it. I used to do this all the time. I would hold on to every piece of clothing that I had, even though I haven't worn it, and I don't even remember how long. And it's like, well, if you don't get rid of things that aren't serving you anymore, you're not creating space for new things to come in. So I clean my closet out to the point where there's not much in there right now. But you know what? At least I'm not staring at a bunch of old stuff that's got crappy energy that I never wear anyway. And everything holds energy. Everything, whether it's matter, whether it's something physical, everything has energy attached to it. So get rid of all of that old energy. Regulate your nervous system. Pay attention to that stuff. Start treating yourself better. When you go to, let's just say, get a glass of water, a drink of water, whatever. Do you grab your nicest glass, or do you use the same dirty plastic cup that you've had since you were 10 out of habit? Get rid of it. Use your nicest stuff. Be nicer to yourself. Start telling yourself a new story. Start telling the story of your life that you want to see, instead of the grim reality of what it might be. Start telling yourself a new story throughout the day. Start recognizing when you're telling your old story. Just recognizing it is enough. That's all you have to do to start. Recognize your old story patterns and start telling the new one that you would like to see happen. And in time, not only will you regulate your nervous system, you'll develop new and healthier beliefs that actually support the life that you want to create for yourself. And if you look around at other people that already say have what you want, that's not a reason to be jealous. That's evidence that you can do it too. If somebody else can do or have the thing that you want, or do the thing that you want to do, why are they different from you? Why can't you have or do that same thing? Use those people as evidence. You know what? It can be done. They did it. Why can't I do it? Because you can. You can do it too. You know, even a year ago, if you would have asked me if I would have started a YouTube channel, I probably would have laughed. Like, this is me doing something out of my comfort zone. And it's because I felt like I should. I felt like I was supposed to. And pushing yourself to do something that you see other people have already done, that's not that's not a reason to be jealous. You need to look at that as evidence that you can do and have what you want to do. It's possible for other people, so it's possible for you too. You just have the limiting belief that you can't, or that it's not going to work out. Well, I mean, it's definitely not going to work out if you don't try. But your nervous system has to come first, and it's so easy to know what it is you're manifesting, because all you have to do is ask yourself moment to moment, how are you feeling? And it only takes effort, a lot of effort at first, because once you get really good at it, you'll start recognizing immediately when you feel off, and you'll immediately replace whatever it is. If you're thinking about something that is making you anxious or nervous, it's just a thought. Replace that thought with a better one that serves you. Replace it with a thought that's going to um, promote giving you the results, the desired outcome that you want. And in time, it will become such a habit that it doesn't take that much effort anymore. In time, you're going to be so in tune with how you're feeling moment to moment that it's just going to come naturally. Sometimes I'll just, at a random point in the day, I'll just I'll just say to myself, like, wow, what am I having anxiety over right now? Sometimes I don't even know what it is. I've just walked around like that for so long, for so many years, that your old identity will always try to creep back into what's familiar. And that's going to be a topic of the next one, embodying your new identity. But in time, you'll get so in tune with how you're feeling that you'll know instantly. And you might not even remember or know what it was you were thinking about. But when that happens, just sit down and just close your eyes and take a few long, slow, deep breaths. It's not corny, it actually works. On a physiological level, it calms your brain down and it brings you back to the present moment, and it lets you do a reset. So, anyway, I don't want to make this video too much longer, but again, if you haven't yet, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, I would appreciate it. Subscribe if you like my material. Um, also, I also, another tool that I do this every morning. I listen to short 9-minute frequency waves, and it really helps just kind of set the tone for my day. Um, it's called Genius Wave. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I'm going to leave a link in the video description, because I wouldn't promote anything. I'm not getting paid for this. I don't work for them. I'm not getting any kind of promo for doing this, but I do affiliate the product because I believe in it. I use it myself every day. And if you are someone who was once a lot like me, that has a hard time calming your mind, quieting the mental chatter, the constant mental chatter, 9 minutes of this every morning, and it really does just help set the tone for the day. And it's not an expensive product either. So if you're somebody who needs help with calming the mental chatter, I highly recommend trying it. Um, but anyway, so if you haven't hit the like button, thank you for watching this till the end. I really appreciate it, and I love you all. And I will see you guys probably again on Thursday. Thanks so much. Have a good day.